So you might be wondering, what exactly happened at Mount Sinai? People talk about it all the time. First of all, it says there was a big fire that miraculously descended from the heavens on top of Mount Sinai. But it didn't completely land on the mountain. It was hovering over the mountain a little bit. Plus there was thunder and lightning, and people even saw the thunder. They saw that which is usually hidden, because the spiritual was revealed. It says the Creator took all of the heavens and spread them on top of Mount Sinai, like someone who spreads a blanket on top of a bed. So all of the spiritual worlds were spread on top of a mountain. And basically, the purpose of Mount Sinai is to combine the upper and lower energies of the world. Because before the revelation of Mount Sinai, since the beginning of creation, the Creator's energy, the spiritual energy of the world, was in its own realm. It was hidden away. Like it says on the first day of creation, after He created the light, He saw the light that it was good and He separated it. It means the light originally was everywhere. And then at the beginning of creation, He separated the light and hid it from creation so that there could be free choice and creation could exist, etc. and everything. Except at the time of the giving of the Torah, once everything already exists, then when the Torah was given, it says that He hid the light that He separated on the first day into the Torah. And through learning the Torah now, after the revelation of Sinai, we reveal that light that was hidden in the beginning of creation. And in some places it explains that we even bring out new light that's even beyond the light that existed. And brief side point, within the light itself, it says that He saw the light that it was good and He separated it. And then afterwards it says between the light and between the darkness. So meaning, first of all, there's the light, that it was good, and then He separated it. And then afterwards it says He separated between the light and the darkness, which implies that there's two levels of light. Like it says earlier, it says that He said, first it says, let there be light. That's one. And then after it says, let there be light, it says, and there was light. As opposed to all the other creations, it just says, let there be something, and then it says, and it was so, like it was such. It doesn't repeat the thing itself. But by the light, after He says, let there be light, then it repeats itself and says, and there was light, which implies there's two levels of light. First, when it says later, there was light, that means that even before creation, there was a great level of light. But the light was so intense that nothing could exist. But then it says, let there be light, so that refers to a limitation, a limited level of light, which is for the sake of creating the world. So the point is that through learning the Torah, not only do we reveal the limited light in the world, which even that limited light is hidden from us because people don't realize that they're being created every second from the Creator, even from the limited light. But we also draw down the infinite light from before creation, as it's explained. He saw the light that it was good, He separated, meaning He separated the infinite light itself to itself, as opposed to the limited light where He separated only from the darkness. Point is, through learning the Torah, we reveal all the levels of light, and some places it says even draw down a new light that didn't even exist before creation. So that's the main point of the revelation of Sinai, where it says that the Creator descended on the top of Mount Sinai, and later on He told Moses to go up to the mountain. So there's two ideas. First of all, there's the upper energies of Hashem's power, Hashem descending on the mountain, which represents the spiritual energies coming down into this world and being merged in the world through the learning Torah and doing physical acts of mitzvahs like charity, tzedakah, tzitzis, Shabbos candles, etc. All those mitzvahs, even mitzvahs made by the rabbis, have the power to draw down the infinite light of the Creator that's beyond everything, which originally was separated from creation, but at the giving of the Torah, that it was able to come into creation. So basically that's the two ideas. That first of all, the infinite light is able to come down from above to below. And also that's the idea of when it says Hashem descended on Mount Sinai. And then it says later when Moses went up to the mountain, that represents how finite creations can be refined and elevate themselves to the level of Hashem's energy, so to speak. Which is through drawing, first of all, through doing the mitzvahs, but first of all we draw down the infinite light of the Creator into the world. But besides for that, that's from above to below. Besides for that, not only do we draw down into the world such that it's something that's like doesn't make any sense, but we draw down into the world, and once that happens, then we're also able to refine and change ourselves to to be elevated to a higher level. And basically, when we do all mitzvahs nowadays, after the giving of the Torah, we literally connect with the infinite essence of the Creator. And basically, this idea of the connection between the spiritual and physical, even though it happened at the giving of the Torah, but it's going to be mainly manifested in the times of Mashiach. Because at Mount Sinai, the main revelation was one-time revelation, and then even though nowadays it says that through learning Torah and doing mitzvahs, we also have that revelation, but not everyone feels the infinite light of the Creator everywhere. Maybe some people do, maybe. But not everyone feels the light of the Creator everywhere. So the point of Mashiach is that we're going to recognize how the Creator and the world are one, and the Creator's infinite light is everywhere. And then, it's kind of so I figured might as well share it. It says that this idea in the future, the revelation of the Creator's energy in the future, also represents the two ideas, like in the giving of the Torah, when Hashem came down to the mountain, and then Moses went up to the mountain. So there's two verses regarding the resurrection of the dead. This is from the book of Maimarim, Malukat, in the newer print, page 176, between the months Adar and Sivan. So I think that's volume 3, pretty sure. Maybe not. No, maybe volume... No, I think it's volume 3. Basically, it says that two verses regarding the revelation of the Creator in the future. It says, first of all, it says... Okay, where are these verses from? These two verses are from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 26, and another verse is from the book of Joel, chapter 3. And then the Midrash, Tehillim, section 14, talks about it. It says, first of all, it says that, in one of them it says, in the times of Mashiach, it says, Hashem will give us a new heart. And the second verse says, I will pour out my spirit of prophecy on all flesh. And basically all flesh, all living things will have prophecy in the flesh itself. So that even in their own flesh they'll be able to realize the Creator. So anyway, the point is that when it says I'll give you a new heart, that means that just like nowadays the physical heart has emotions towards natural things in the world, so that heart in the future will naturally be connected to the Creator. That's the idea of Moses going up to the mountain, and how it's going to be by everyone. Everyone will be refined, such that even the natural heart will be connected to the Creator. And the second level, when it says that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, that's the idea of Hashem basically being revealed from above to below in all of existence, essentially. And that's the basics. So the point is, the more mitzvahs we do, we draw down the infinite light of the Creator into the world. And the Rambam says that everyone has to imagine as if the world is on a scale, balancing scale. And you can imagine half the scale is all the not good things, not good deeds, and half the scale is all the good deeds. And the point is that everyone has to look at themselves, that every good deed they do has the power, and the scale has to be imagine that all the times the scale is exactly balanced. And everyone has to imagine that at all times, even one good deed that someone does has the power to tip the scale in favor, and that cause redemption for the entire world. Basically, because through doing each mitzvah, such as charity, tzedakah, tefillin, Shabbos candles, then we draw down the infinite light of the Creator into the world. And it's like a scale, so even one good deed can tip the scales for the whole world. And not only a good deed, but it says even one word of speech, because people are created in the metaphorical image of the Creator, which the Creator doesn't have any image, obviously, but the image of the Creator is the aspect of how the Creator limited himself for the creation, and that mainly refers to the power of speech, since the Creator created everything through speech. So since we're created in the image of the Creator, means the speech of a person that has the power to create things in the world. So when we talk about positive things, and that creates positive events in the world, and the most positive event possible is the complete and final redemption. And not only speech, but it says even through one thought, one has the power to tip the scales and bring redemption for everything. Because it says that in other places that with one thought, one can transform one's entire being from one extreme to the other. And that's legally brought regarding other things. The point is that through one thought, one can transform oneself, and then once one transforms oneself, that can tip the scales to bring everything. So the point is that we need to increase in even one more good deed, even one more good word, and even one more good thought to tip the scales and bring the redemption for all humanity. And Mashiach comes, says there will be eternal prosperity for all nations and animals, even plants and even rocks. Basically, we'll all realize the Creator. There'll be no more war, no more hunger, no more famine, And it says the bodies of the righteous will be resurrected from the dead, and they'll be eternal and invincible, basically. They won't need to eat or drink, and there'll be a lot of things. You can read all about it elsewhere. The point is that you need to increase in one more good deed, good speech, and good thought. Even one thought can tip the scales and bring redemption.